Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Music City. Everybody come in and find a seat and make yourself at home. We are going to start this service off by singing two songs back to back. We're going to get all this energy that is up. We're going to get it focused on having a great service today. So, on behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill. That's Jackson. That's Candy. Let's put your hands together and welcome Mary Grace today. Let's all stand as we are able. Let's sing, I am the place where God shows up. Here we go. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm staring at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Let's take it up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God shows up. All right. Let's remain standing. Let's do one more. I think after today you're going to see a theme in the songs. I'm so glad that we are here.
I'm so glad that we are here.
I feel the Spirit ever near.
Feel the Spirit ever near.
We are friends and family.
We are friends and family.
Singing praises joyfully. We are blessed, we are thankful, all is well and life is good. We are blessed, we are thankful, all is well and are thankful, all is well and life is good. We are blessed, we are thankful, all is well and life is good. We are blessed, we are thankful, all is well and life is good. We are blessed, we are thankful, all is well and life is good. All is well and life is good. All is well and life is good. Life is good. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Let's take just a moment to let the kids go with Miss Steph to the youth department. Let's get prepared for our centering statement. Keep on.
Good morning, Unity of Music City. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep, centering breath. Today's centering statement is, I look for the good in every situation. As we go through life, we might find that we are inclined to compare who we are and what we have with others. But in reality, everything is neutral, and everything is relative. In the end, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. So, no particular person, experience, emotion, or action should be seen as good or bad until you see it from the perspective of the big picture. Nothing and no one is inherently good or bad. And each situation we experience is an opportunity for learning. Everything is a spectrum of expression and energy, and there is more than one perspective on any situation or challenge. When life happens to us, are we conscious of the fact that there are always multiple ways to perceive it? And are we also conscious of the fact that the way we perceive something might not always be the way others perceive it? The law of relativity states that everything is relative because we all perceive reality in our own way. This law explains why two people can go through the same situation and have two entirely different experiences. Understanding this law can help us prioritize inner peace over defending the truth, because truth is relative anyway. In other words, we are the ones who assign meaning to things. So we can choose to regard things however we wish, as well as understand the tougher aspects of our life with greater compassion. When we remember that everything happens for us and not to us, we can begin to change our thoughts and actions to an attitude that enhances our lives. And when we show up for others as a presence of love, joy, and peace, we can change the outcome of every situation that we find ourselves in. And now please repeat these affirming statements after me. I am mindful of how I perceive the truth in every situation. I am mindful of how I perceive the truth in every situation. I easily let go of the thoughts and things that don't serve me. I easily let go of the thoughts and things that don't serve me. When I am centered on the divine presence within, I show up as love, peace, and joy. When I am centered on the divine presence within, I show up as love, peace, and joy. And so it is.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm still stuck on everything happens for us and not to us. And I was thinking about the holidays to come and being with family. And so I will remember that. I need to have it right there on my forehead. We're so glad to have everyone here today. Today is just a special day as we're kicking off the holiday months of Thanksgiving and Christmas. I can start feeling some anticipation in the air for all of that. We have some incredible things coming up in this spiritual community for you to be a part of. So we are so happy that you're here and you're bringing your energy to play with ours. And I do believe we've got some great announcements coming up. So, Julie, I don't know whether you're going to enlighten us or entertain us or both. Enlighten and entertain.
That made me forget the thing that I let go of was that beard from last week because it got 70 degrees.
Yes.
And on that note, I needed some good light this morning.
Oh, okay. Oh. There's your next post.
Had to be presentable, so that's my face. Anyway.
I love it.
Grateful for you all sounding so. We got a band of 4 today. So, woo! Very nice. 3 is amazing, but 4, oh my goodness. So, welcome. All right. Good morning, Unity of Music City. Happy November. We made it. It's awesome. All right. Got some good things now. It's just announcements, and we've got one page. One page. Okay, but a lot going on here.
Good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, so all activity or meeting links and phone numbers can be found on the website, Weekly Happenings, Google Calendar. You can always email the church. Spirituality and Recovery. This is ongoing. It's a great program. Come join us in a weekly 1-hour discussion meeting about the 12 steps of recovery, their spirituality and principles, and how we can put action behind the talk and better walking the walk in our daily lives. All are welcome. You need only 3 things to bring each week, and that's willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness. Hope to see you Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here at Wren Road Unity. It's awesome. Save Paul. We're collecting non-perishable food items to support Save Paul in our community. These items will create food boxes for those individuals who have some ability to cook but are needing some temporary support with food and meals. Think of things that can be prepared together to create a meal like pasta noodles, sauce, can of soup, box of rice, chili, and box of cornbread. And I had some honey cornbread on Monday, y'all. It was with my chili. It was quite tasty.
It looked that way.
Yeah, right? It was, I cheated. It was Krusteaz, but it's the brand, but it was good. Not trying to advertise, but it was good stuff. It was good. It was good. That's it. Just saying, I cheated a little bit, not homemade. But homemade chili, but not cornbread. So we appreciate that support, though, for those donations. Questions, please see Sarah Esper. And Sarah is here. All right, annual membership meeting today following the celebration service here at Wren Road. Everyone welcome to attend. We hope to see you there and at the potluck meal following the meeting. Happy class coming up Monday. That's next Monday, November the 13th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. The Happy class is an uplifting hour for your body and soul. This adult mindfulness class combines 20 minutes of gentle movement with 20 minutes of aromatherapy and Reiki-infused relaxation. $20 suggested love donation. Details and sign-ups are on the bulletin board. So, anything else today? Will that do it? So, maybe at the Happy class, you might do this cheer. Is it Mary Catherine Gallagher?
All right, well, it's time to sing again. It is time for a new monthly mantra. And of course, the monthly mantra is on our theme for the month, which is blessings and gratitude. All right, so this is a classic. This is a Unity classic from specifically Unity of Music City, from our former music director, Judy Blackwelder. This is a very special song. I wanted to, the next couple of months are going to be a little bit more traditional. We try to be very contemporary, but we also want to remember where we came from, and this is a classic song from the Unity of Music City archives. We are blessed to have one another, a chosen family, together we stand. We are blessed to be sister and brother. We are blessed. So let's stand as we are able. Let's see if we can remember this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We are blessed to have one another, a chosen family, together we stand. We are blessed to be sister and brother. We are blessed. We are blessed. Where two or more are gathered, there's a sweet spirit near. Where two or more are gathered, love replaces fear. We are blessed to have one another, a chosen family, together we stand. We are blessed to be sister and brother. We are blessed. We are blessed. A light to those around us. We bring joy when we sing. We feel God's love surround us. We give thanks for everything. We are blessed to have one another, a chosen family, together we stand. We are blessed to be sister and brother. We are blessed. We are blessed. A light to those around us. We bring joy when we sing. We feel God's love surround us. We give thanks for everything. We are blessed to have one another, a chosen family, together we stand. We are blessed to be sister and brother. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. I think you remembered it. Please be seated. Thank you so much.
I think he did. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to mention, if I haven't before, that the centering statement and the affirmations and the morning reading that minister to me every week were all written by Ryan Gill. Ryan is our minister of music, and I like to refer to him as the minister of the first half of the service. So,
Since we're on that, let me tell you that I'm working on putting all of these into PDFs so that you can go to the website and you can download them and you can use them whenever you want.
fantastic.
And Amy?
Fantastic, yes.
Deb, I need you on the hand mic. I got nothing.
You got nothing on the mic, Mike. All right, you got me on the hand mic. All right. Well, there you go then. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Ryan, for ministering to me. Thank you, Julie, for not apparently thinking to bring me any cornbread or chili Thank you, Mary Grace, for adding a little extra to our stage this morning. Ryan often says that you all are here by divine appointment. And I really appreciate those Sundays when y'all have the same appointment. And we got a full house in here, and I love that because your energy feeds me, and I am so grateful for that. I want to invite you into this meditative portion of the service. Invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Invite you to settle into your chair. Feel yourself completely supported. You are welcome in this space. You are safe in this space. But there's another space I want to invite you into. A space that resides deep within you. It is always with you, but often covered up, covered by the worries and the concerns, covered by the identity we think we are. And we forget that our essence is the timeless, boundless, pure presence of divine love. And so for this brief moment, I invite you to imagine the self that you see in the mirror and consciously set that self aside. Think of the self that is your personality, your talents, your skills. And set that self aside. I want you to imagine even the spiritual seeker self. The one that evolves, the one that grows, the one that learns, the one that lets go. And even that self, set it aside. For behind all of those is an essence that has no height or width, and it doesn't need to grow. It knows no time. It doesn't come and go. It is the purest self. And all it needs is your awareness. All it needs is for you to look. Look carefully into that inner space. And be in the silence. In the silence. This space feels a whole lot like love. It feels a whole lot like joy. It feels a whole lot like peace. In that place of pure Christ consciousness, pure Buddha nature, pure divine essence. There is nothing that is demanded of you other than what arises naturally and organically, and that is gratitude. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Divine Spirit. Thank you for living in me, as me, animating this human self that I am in this life. Thank you for your constant presence. We are so blessed. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
You know, Ryan, I thought you were going to say you were going to collect all these and sell them for $5.99.
That's a great idea.
Low price, $5.99. So here we are in the series that made itself. Those of you who have been here this is the 4th week of this series. In the first week, we didn't know it was going to be a series. And then the second week, I kind of thought, feels like a series is happening. And then I don't know if you know this or not, but God spoke to me. As God speaks to all of us all the time. and said, you can go further with this. I think we can take this a little bit further because, here's the thing. It's easy. I remember growing up in the Nazarene church, and when I'd turn on the television and see Jimmy Swaggart or something like that and it's saying, God spoke to me, it felt, a little bit odd because it felt like a kind of specialness that they were trying to hold on to. But the truth is that internal voice, that divine essence within us is always communicating with us, always giving us guidance if we just stop and listen. So God spoke to me and said, we're going to make this a series. And the very first of these we talked about was the antidote. The antidote was hope and joy as the antidotes for fear and dread. So much of this modern world has a lot of fear and dread. We're not sure, where's this all going to end? But hope and joy still exist. And we had Robert Louis Stevenson remind us to find out where joy resides and give it a voice far beyond singing, for to miss the joy is to miss all. To miss the joy is to miss all. If I had known this was going to be a series, I would have given this first one a different subtitle, because the next one was the medicine, right? And we talked about the medicine, the cure-all, the Advil of the spiritual world being kindness. We talked about how sometimes miracles are just good people with kind hearts. We talked about how kindness is a simple way to tell another struggling soul that there is love to be found in the world. And then the week after that, we talked about the vaccine. That was last week. And the vaccine, and now I'm going to lose my batteries. It's going to be a technical morning. Let me just tell you. There we go. The vaccine was faith. Dr. Martin Luther King reminded us that faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And Corrie ten Boom exhorted us to never be afraid, to trust an unknown future to a known God. That's part of that stopping to get in touch with that divine essence. When I know that place is there, the unknown future can be handled a little bit more gracefully because I know what the essence is in my life. So what do you think we might talk about today? Any ideas what today's is going to be? I know. Yeah, I know you know. Said the person looking at the PowerPoint. Today, we're going to talk about the surgery. This week is my surgery. This November 8th, Wednesday, is when I'm going to go have my surgery. And I'm going to be out for 2 weeks. I want to tell you what you have in store for you. You won't want to miss these next 2 weeks coming up. Next week, you're going to have Reverend Margie Hart speaking to you. And absolutely. I was blessed to have her share with me the sermon that she gave when she graduated from seminary, and it's beautiful. I think she's going to build on that, talk a little bit about the Wednesday night recovery. Recovery is a spiritual process. We are all in recovery from humanness or fundamentalism or something, right? We are all in recovery. So you won't want to miss that next week. And then the week after that, you're going to have Frank Castellano. We can give him the title. Yeah. And that's always insightful. I've already heard that he's forcing Ryan to learn a new song for that experience. So it's going to be fantastic. I'll be back with you then that Sunday right after Thanksgiving, and we'll be heading into the holidays. It'll be wonderful. But I'll tell you, I've been thinking a lot about this surgery that's upcoming for me, and I was thinking this week as I was preparing to talk about the spiritual surgery that there's really 3 different types of surgery. Now, I want to give a caveat here at the beginning. I am not a medical person. I am sure that medical people could probably tell you, oh no, there are 4 types of surgery, or there are 3 types of whatever it is. I don't know what those are. These are just things I have pulled out of my own head, and so they may or may not be accurate. But I thought about 3 different types of surgery that I have thought about or have heard about in my lifetime. One of them is, sorry, I'm not naming that correctly, exploratory surgery. Now, we don't really hear a lot about exploratory surgery anymore. I started thinking about this week. When I was a kid, we heard that all the time, exploratory surgery. And I think, I don't know if I'm right, wrong, or whatever, but I think what happened is it was also about the 1970s, 1980s when we started really getting good CT scans and MRIs, good imaging. So they didn't have to open us up to go in and see what was wrong. They had this great imaging that they could use. So you could think of this in a spiritual way as either the exploratory surgery or even just the great imaging. The metaphor still works. Sometimes we need to go in search of what might be gumming up the works, right? The exploratory surgery of spiritual growth is self-inquiry. That's self with a capital S. It is pretty much what we did during meditation. Setting everything aside that can be set aside. Because if it can be set aside, it's not who we are, right? That person we see in the mirror is not who we are. That personality we carry around and express ourselves through is not who we are. It's a common theme among teachers of Advaita Vedanta, non-dualism, right? And like the meditation, the whole idea is just to get in the place of pure self, to see what really is. One of my favorite teachers, as you know, of non-dualism and self-inquiry is Muji, and he says this about it. Self-inquiry is not asking you to believe or to trust. This is kind of interesting. I want to stop right there and talk about that for a second. This is not an act of faith. This is not something that you have to take a leap into. It's just something you have to get still enough and clear enough to notice. Self-inquiry is not asking you to believe or to trust. It is putting a mirror in front of you and asking you to look. Inquiry is suited to many people in the West because we are more mental. We are truly mental in the West. And it is very direct. So unsparing is its look that nothing can escape. So here's what Muji is letting us know. The first couple of times that you do that practice where you sit in the stillness, you sit in the silence, and you say, I'm going to set everything aside. I'm going to truly leave it outside the door. I can pick it back up when I'm ready to leave. It's not going to go away. I can set it aside. I can set aside my personality. I can set aside my spiritual seeker self. I can go to the place where all I'm aware of, all I am noticing is the energy that animates me. The God self that is without bounds, without time. That is the pure essence of who I am, right? And when I do that, eventually, unsparing is its look. I will see that. That is one guarantee I can make you today. If you sit with this long enough, give it true intention and attention, you will see the divine self that you are. Unsparing is its look, right? This is what we do when I bring the nesting boxes in. I thought about bringing them today, but they have a tendency to sidetrack me, like I just want to spend the whole time right there. So I left them at home. But those nesting boxes, when we set aside that outer shell, that personality self, that seeker self, all of these things until there's nothing left but the observer, and then sometimes we can even get behind that observer and notice that there's something that doesn't even do that much, just is. The energy, right? The battery. The beingness that we are. Another teacher that teaches in this vein, and I like this guy too because he comes from a Buddhist perspective, Adyashanti. I love the fact that non-dualism is not owned by any traditional, any path, any one path, that it can exist within many. Adyashanti says self-inquiry is a spiritually induced form of wintertime. It's not about looking for a right answer so much as stripping away and letting you see what is not necessary, what you can do without, what you are without your leaves. I love that image, especially as we're heading into this time of year and we're heading toward wintertime. To me, wintertime is a very spiritual time of the year. I think there's a lot of kind of hibernation that happens that also produces a lot of growth, prepares us for growth. Although we don't hear about exploratory surgery as much in the medical world, in the spiritual world, this exploratory surgery of self-inquiry could be the only spiritual surgery we ever need. Like if we truly get in touch with our divine essence, nothing else is needed. I'm in a place of no need or want. I'm in a place of no dimension. I just am. I'm just being. The teacher who is credited with kind of at least being the first in a somewhat modern era to come up with this language, this idea has been around for eons. But the first one to come up with this language was Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi discovered this idea of self-inquiry out of his own awakening at the age of 16. And this is what he says. He says, the method of self-inquiry is to turn the outward-going mind back to its source, the heart, the self-awareness, and fix it forever there. Whew. That's so simple, and it is so big. I think that there are kind of two levels of awakening. There's probably a bunch of them. But there's two very specific ones that I've identified in my own experience, and maybe you've seen it as well. There's the awakening where we first become aware of the pure presence that we are. Maybe those early days when you first started meditating, did you ever have those moments where you felt almost like weightless, and the second you noticed it, it went away? And you were like, bring it back. Let me see if I could grab it back. It felt so elusive. Right? And that's kind of the first level. I know it's there. I've seen it. I've felt it. I've been in it. And then there's the awakening where we're able to fix it forever there. Growing up in the Nazarene church, we called this being saved and sanctified, right? It's what happens when salvation happens and then being filled with the Holy Spirit. And really the only difference, it's the same kind of model, really. The big difference is that when I was growing up, we called it being filled with the Holy Spirit, and now I would say it's becoming aware of the Holy Spirit that has always been there within you, that never had to enter. It was the life that gave you life from the very beginning, right? My all-time favorite spiritual quote has to do with this self-discovery that is able to fix it forever there. And know this, I think even maybe there's a third level of awakening, because we can get to that place where we're like, okay, I got it. I can step into, I know, but we still forget, right? I'm anxious for the day, the third awakening. Ooh, that's going to be the title of my memoir, called it. All right. The third awakening, which is going to be, I never forget. I never forget, right? I have fixed it forever there. My favorite spiritual quote of all time, this is kind of like my favorite song of all time, but my favorite spiritual quote has to do with this fixing it forever there. It's from Muji, of course. I got to give him two because he's my guy. Step into the fire of self-discovery. This fire will not burn you. It will only burn what you are not. This fire will not burn you because you know what? It is the fire. It is the fire. Nothing that is you will go. What will go is what can go and not diminish you one iota. That's what will go. What will go is the not you that we cling to as a delusion of identity. Delusion of identity. That's the follow-up to my memoir, by the way. That's what gets to go, is the delusion, the way we delude ourselves. And what remains is the fire itself that can always then be fixed forever there, burning away whatever is not needed, whatever does not serve us. I got to tell you, that one type of surgery could be all that we need. But you know I've got three types. So let's go to surgery number 2. The second type, we got exploratory surgery, and then we've got the surgery that, I don't know if this is working anymore, surgery that repairs. I thought the auto mechanic was fitting here, right? Sometimes we have something inside of us that we still need to carry around in this existence, but it's broken. It feels a little bit broken. It's acting a little bit wonky. Like, for instance, our emotions. We're going to carry our emotions throughout this entire human experience. We're going to have our emotions with us. But boy, they can act up, can't they? They can believe they are in charge. They can act up. They can make a mess of our life at times. Sometimes when something feels wonky or out of alignment or in need of repair, we'll seek out some assistance. We'll go to a therapist. When we need something repaired, a lot of times what we need is a person who has distance and insight. That is a valuable person in your life, someone who has distance and insight. Because we don't see what's going on with us. We don't often even see the way we're showing up in things, not really clearly. But someone with a little distance and insight can show us how we are showing up, can give us feedback, can observe something about us that we're just too close to see, and they can help. And they can give us the guidance to repair what is not acting correctly. We can do this with massage, acupuncture. This is the type of surgery that often needs an outside kind of source, right? So I've had massages that were spiritual experiences. And I don't even know what happened during them. I just know that when I got up, I was a different person than I was when I laid down. I've had acupuncture sessions that were transcendent and transformative. I left my body for I had one I was in for 3 hours. I thought I was there for 30 minutes. Guy came, woke me up, he said, I think you're done. I said, okay. But 3 hours later, he had just been observing me, watching, checking in on me every now and then. Purely transcendent. Our healing arts folks, right? Frank and Deborah and Annette and whoever else works, I'm just out, Amy. People who know different modalities. It might be that you're able to reach out and say, hey, do y'all know I'm dealing with this in my life? Do you have an idea what might help? Because if they don't know how to do it, they probably know somebody who does. They can help out. The happy class, Steph's happy class, any of the healing arts gatherings can be a time when we get some of that outward surgery that repairs. Coming to this spiritual community is the surgery that repairs. These can be helpful at times in helping us fix what might seem broken, but all of this, the efficacy of this, the success of this, depends on one key step first. And that key step is getting real with the person in the mirror. I've told you before about Loretta. Loretta is what I named the person who acted in ways that I wished I didn't act, right? Loretta is the being that inhabits my body and shows out, right? Does things in a way that I wish I didn't. I think actually that the kind of more you practice self-inquiry and you get into your kind of spiritual self, the more, it had worked this way for me, the more times I would have experiences where I felt like I was literally observing I could be two people at one time. I could be Loretta, who's acting out, and I could be my higher self going, wow, look at you go, right? At the same time, simultaneously. Have you ever had that experience? Where you're going, wow, look at you. My higher self is even going, you should stop talking now. That would be a good idea. And my Loretta self is over here going, shut up. I've got this. A friend of mine years ago suggested, name that person. Make that person different from you. Give it a name. I named it Loretta. That's what my mother was going to name me. I would never have forgiven her had she done that. So that's Loretta. And I got to the point where I would just go into, if I was feeling angry, I was acting up, I'd just excuse myself. I'd go into a bathroom, I'd look in the mirror, and I'd say, Loretta, nobody invited you here. You need to leave. You need to go. You and I can have a private talk on the way home about what's got you all upset if you want to. But right now, you need to go. And you know what? It worked a little bit. I learned over time that I was really talking to my anger. I carried anger like an inheritance for so many years. And I've learned a little bit. I'm not a specialist in anger or understanding emotions, but I have seen that anger is usually the expression of depression, frustration, rejection, bitterness. It's the way all of those toxic feelings get expressed out in our world. I carried this around for a long time, and I finally got to the point where I realized the first step in healing it was I had to get super, super honest about it. Now, being super, super honest is a grade beyond acknowledging. We know that the first step to solving a problem is to acknowledge that you have a problem, right? I'm going to say that's fine. There's a step right after that. That is, now you get super, super honest about it. Because acknowledging is kind of like, oh, I seem to have some anger sometimes. I think I'll read a book about anger. I'll affirm it away. I'll bring it up in a very controlled fashion at the next full moon gathering. I'll speak about it in dulcet tones, like a morning songbird. I will acknowledge my anger, right? Look at me, acknowledging my anger. And we think we've done something. But being super, super honest about it sounds more like this. I've been expressing anger in super inappropriate ways. It has caused problems in my life. I've attempted to justify it by blaming it on my father, my mother, my childhood, anything else. I have seethed about it just under the surface, while my powers of will force me to show up as someone who's calm and got this all under control. I've carried it around like an extra arm, and it's not serving me. It's taken up residence, and I want it gone. My anger can feel like another being that inhabits my body, but you know what? It's not Loretta. It's me. It's mine. And I want to disown it. I deserve better than the tight internal grip that it makes me feel. I deserve peace, and by God, I'm going to transform my anger into passion and compassion and joy. Not passion and compassion and joy that I have to force into place like a square peg in a round hole, but the kind that organically and naturally arises in the place where anger used to live. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, it may not go away that day, but by God, I have been super honest about the pain that it's caused me, about the damage I've had to go try to fix in its wake, about the ways that it has created situations that I then need to go and apologize for, because you see, the surgery that repairs is honesty. Rigorous honesty. I went looking for a really great quote that would align with this idea, and believe it or not, the best one I found was from Val Kilmer. You know the actor, Val Kilmer, right? Played Batman or Superman or one of those. You know, over the last few years, he's struggled with throat cancer. He's had a real tough journey for a couple of years. And this is what he said. Healing is not born of vanity. It is born of honesty. Honesty is born of pure love. And love is the most divine healer. That's pretty profound right there for a guy who played Batman. Healing is born of honesty. You would think that we would be really, really good at that in a spiritual community. But we sometimes struggle here. There's a temptation in a spiritual community to look like we've got it all figured out. We've got it all together. Oh, you've got a problem? Great, I have answers for you. Right? Embrace the freedom of having nothing figured out. Embrace the freedom of being in rigorous honesty, right? This ought to be the place of every place we go where we ought to be able to come in and say, I have been an angry witch this week. And I've been working with that. That's fine. I don't even need to give you advice. You're not looking for advice. You just need a place to come be honest, because that honesty is going to start healing you. One of the beautiful things about working on these talks is that I sometimes run into people I just haven't encountered on my spiritual journey. And one of them is a man named Vernon Howard. I don't know if y'all know Vernon Howard, but he's a spiritual teacher, American spiritual teacher, author, and philosopher. And I got to tell you, the titles of the many, many books he has written make me want to dive deep into his work. But this is what he said. He said, oh, go back. Oh, I got to go back. What happened? I didn't do anything. Go. There we go. Vernon Howard is in the building. He said, just as surely as distress must follow self-deceit, healing must follow self-honesty. Whoo, that's a mic drop moment right there, right? How many times have we distressed ourselves through self-deceit, self-delusion? And the healing comes from self-honesty. I think about the times that there's been a conflict in a relationship or some kind of moment, and everybody's gripping onto their sides and their defensiveness and everything so tightly. And the one moment that one person has the courage to be just rigorously honest, just deeply, lovingly, boldly honest. And usually that honesty is about themselves. Usually that honesty, it's not about, we often think honesty is, I'm going to get real honest about how you've messed up. No, I'm going to get real honest about my part in this moment. And that's when healing begins. That's the second type of surgery. The third type of surgery, let's see if it'll go just one, is the surgery that removes. I know. I was looking for just the right picture. And when I came across this one, I thought, do you think they'll get it? Oh, we get it. Surgery that removes. I'm not even going to go. There's a whole other talk around the cone of shame, all right? But surgery that removes. Fido seemed the best example of this. This is the surgery that I'm having this week. Somehow, some cells in my body became cancerous. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know exactly where it came from, right? What I do know is that that spot has been identified, and that my glorious surgeon is going to cut into my body on Wednesday and take it away. She's going to cut out the spot that has been identified. Before she even closes me up, she's going to go look under a microscope, make sure she's got good margins around it, make sure that there's no possibility that any are left inside, and then she's going to close me up. The surgery that takes it away, that takes what doesn't serve us away, in old language, is the surgery of salvation. It's the surgery of awakening. It's the surgery where error thoughts are washed away. It's the surgery where I am made whiter than snow. It is the surgery where something has removed everything that does not serve me and has brought me into a place of freedom, true freedom from that. Right? My surgeon and my oncologist have said that after Wednesday, they believe I will be cancer-free. Beautiful, beautiful words. I have no idea what the future holds. I know the divine. I have a known God, however. I have no idea what the future holds, but what I believe is that all of that does not serve me will be gone on Wednesday. And I believe that that is an act of love. In the Gospel of Luke, there's the story of a woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years. There were all these crowds following Jesus around, and she wanted to get to him. She pushed through the crowds, and she thought to herself, if I could just touch the hem of his garment. Well, she did, and Jesus immediately said, he stopped, he turned around, he said, who touched me? The disciples thought he was a little bit crazy. They were like, there's all these people around you. They're jostling you. It's a crowd of people. A lot of people are touching you. He said, no, someone touched my garment, and I felt the energy leave my body. I felt the energy leave me. Right? And the woman came forward and said, it was me. I touched you. I've had an issue of blood. She'd been hemorrhaging for 12 years. I don't even know if that's possible and still be alive, but nonetheless, that was what the story tells us. And it stopped immediately. There's a song years and years ago in Unity. We used to do these Easter musicals. And I wrote a song, Judy Blackwelder arranged it, and it was about this story, and the chorus went like this. With just one touch of the hem of the garment, I was made whole and complete. With just one touch of the hem of the garment, I was connected with Christ. I was healed. Because you see, it's that moment of being connected with pure presence, with divine essence, with the Christ Spirit, and the disease is taken away. It's an immediate and miraculous removal of anything not serving you that happens through a mechanism we may not even understand. This is what awakening is like. I don't know why she has 4 arms, just don't even ask me. This is what enlightenment can feel like, spiritual awakening, salvation. I've been cleansed, I've been healed, I am whole. How did that happen? What is the surgery that removes all that would harm me? What is that? It's grace. It is pure grace. Right? The miracle of grace. There was a Methodist minister in the late 18th century. He was actually kicked out of the Methodist Church over differences in doctrine, and he started the Unitarian Methodist movement in the 18th century. Another guy I had never heard of until I started digging a little bit. His name was Joseph R. Cook, and he said this about grace. He said, grace is the face that love wears when it meets imperfection. Grace is the face that love wears when it meets imperfection. Grace is the knowledge and the wisdom and the skill that my surgeon will wear when she meets the imperfection in my body. Grace is the thing that we didn't earn. We don't necessarily deserve, if you want to talk about things like that. But grace is the miracle of the divine. And I believe one of the ways we set ourselves up to be aligned and in line with grace is that we do the exploratory surgery of self-inquiry. And we do the surgery that repairs of extreme rigorous honesty. And we are ready then. We're ready then to see grace at work in our lives. The writer Anne Lamott says this about grace. She says, I do not at all understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are, but does not leave us where it found us. That is the beauty of sacredness, of divinity. We don't know how to explain it. We don't know how it works, but it meets us where we are and does not leave us where it found us. Namaste.
I am so grateful to be a part of a spiritual community where I have permission to be clueless. Because I'm clueless about a lot of things, and I will admit that up front now that I can. I admit that. I have been to many churches that felt like they had all the answers, and I agree that they do have some of the answers. But the permission to be clueless is huge. I have no clue about a lot of things, and I admit that. And so grateful for that. I love this time of year because It's the time of the year. This is my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving because we are kind of mandated as a society to look around and see what we are grateful for, what we are thankful for, and give thanks for that. We do that in the context of family, which is so important. It is so important for us to have a family, whether it is our biological family or our family of choice, to be able to come together and say what we are grateful for. So that's one of the things that we do every Sunday here. And so I started us off today. Let me hear you. What are you grateful for this week? Beautiful weather. Cooler weather. A new roof. It sounds like a hallelujah moment to me. What else are we grateful for? Trees. The trees have been so beautiful.
I'm grateful to see Mary Grace up there.
Oh, grateful for a new singer. I'm grateful for that too. You know, we had rehearsal on Thursday, and I'm sitting there and I'm starting to sing, and it's like the whole room just fills up with this beautiful noise. So it's all thank you to Mary Grace. Anybody? Anything else?
Rest. Walking away from a dump truck hitting me on Wednesday.
Oh my goodness. Health. Yes. Very grateful for that. I know you're grateful, but we're grateful that you're here. Absolutely. And on that, I don't think anybody can. if you've got something, you will save that for next week. I'm grateful for our meeting after our service today so that we can come together and talk about the business of unity of Music City. That's an awesome thing, so we can come together and share in that. All right, so let's talk about our contributions. That's our contributions worth expenses. Let's take a moment to inform ourselves of that and take it in to see what we can do to give back to our community. We give back in the form of tithes. We give in the form of talents and treasures. So whatever way you can give back to your spiritual community is essential to the survival, whether it's volunteering for an event or writing a check or contributing the knowledge that you can bring to this spiritual community to make us a better place. All of it is very important. And we do that because we live in a world of infinite abundance. And let's sing that. I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life. I live in the midst of infinite abundance, and life gives back to me. Let me hear you sing it. I live in the midst. I live in the midst of infinite abundance, and life gives back to me, and life gives back to me. Want to remind everybody to be sure and look at the What's Happening email that comes out every Tuesday to keep all of our events in mind. And let's all stand as we are able. And let's say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And I'm going to throw in one more thank you song. Thank you, God, for opening our hearts and for all we feel. We carry you with us as we this moment we stand in our truth. We welcome the peace that it brings. God, as you guide us, renew and remind us that you are the reason we sing. God, as you guide us, renew and remind us that you are the reason we sing. Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay for the meeting afterwards, and we will see you back next Sunday. Have a great week.